going down that way.
I am here, guys, if you want to story to me. Fernando, can you just like the gallery I am if you want to story to me? They're commentating over like pictures, but without me. Yeah, hello, I'm here. Yeah, sure. Yes, I can hear the programme. If you want to throw it to me, you can. Yep. Yes, Emily, so these live pictures you're seeing now of the King meeting some of the members of the local community, these have been specially selected for their role in going above and beyond in the initial aftermath of the attack on the 29th of July, as well as clearing up essentially after the riots, which immediately follows that attack where 3 young girls tragically lost their lives. So one man there, you can just see next to the lady in the pink who the King is greeting, he actually was involved in maintaining, I suppose, a sea of flowers with floral tributes which have been left outside the town hall. So, without an initial statement, one of the relatives on his behalf on 29th of July, the day of the attack, saying how short it was being horrific attack. Like very close to him as if
Are you all Southport based? No,
Thank you for the media here. It means a lot.
Really? Anyway, they've been looked after so wonderfully by all the heads of the police liaisons.
So just got media along here if you want to carry on.
And he's just skipping past the press tent, as you can probably imagine. We're about 2 meters away from him, but members of the public, let's see if we can grab a word with members of the public. Excuse me. Oh, she's gone. Yes. I'm just going to Community's been a key theme here of New Charles' visit. Following this here, His Majesty is going to be going to the local fire station here, where he will be meeting members of the emergency services who are involved in that. His Majesty really wanted to emphasise here in Southport is community cohesion. He will be meeting some faith leaders from different faiths here in Southport. If you remember, immediately after, a couple of days after, there was some quite violent disorder outside the local mosque here. One of King Charles's key themes of his life and work, really, even when he was Prince of Wales, was community cohesion and getting different communities, faith groups to talk to each other. He was able to do that, and like he was like a local ice cream shop, for example, giving out free ice creams to emergency services. The King has met the owner of that particular ice cream shop. The man involved in looking after the Sea of Flowers, which still very much remains here, more than 3 weeks on from that horrific attack, as well as a local building merchant who was involved in rebuilding walls which were knocked down and glass which was smashed after the riots here in Southport. So it's all of those areas which the King is really wanting to highlight here in Southport, and of course meeting members of the local community and the survivors of that horrific attack at the Taylor Swift themed dance class. And tomorrow the King will be in London, where he will be meeting the bereaved families of those 3 young girls too. Well, Emily, I think it was definitely in the secret engagement until around 10 o'clock this morning. The King just waving at a few other members of the public who has gathered, going hanging around for hours and hours and hours for this special moment to meet His Majesty the King. So yeah, clearly very special for them. But I think the crowd's been pretty big, considering they didn't have any notice that the King was coming. The King just giving a final wave there before he gets to his car. And he's heading off now to that community fire station, which is just a short drive away. Meeting members of the crowd. I think one of the roles of the monarch is to be as personable as possible,
lift.
Steve, we've just had the King here in Southport. Can you tell us a bit more about what has happened?
Yeah, so we visited here the Atkinson where that peaceful vigil happened on the Tuesday night, you know, just hundreds of yards away from where we saw some of that thuggery on our streets, and he went to meet the first responders and the emergency services down at the fire hub, and he also met with faith and community leaders, the voluntary sector, and some of those people who actually volunteered to rebuild those walls that were knocked down, those fences, and to give their time up for free. And they were really, really pleased to have met the King.
Liverpool and the Liverpool City region, including Southport, is very closely knit. How do you think it's gone down at being the mayor? How do you think the community's taken it?
Well, what happens is, of course, if there's a tragic event like we saw here on our streets, and then there's a response to that which people locally don't in any way respond to, such as the violence on the streets, then what we've seen is a coming together. In fact, it's been catalytic in bringing the community even closer together than it was before, and that's hopefully the legacy of what has happened here over the last few weeks. We've seen, you know, the community with an outpouring of support for the families, but also doing stuff to rebuild not just the infrastructure, but the social fabric of what happened in Southport.
Being the mayor of Liverpool City region, is there anything the region can do to help rebuild?
Well, what's happened is the government have asked me, number 10 Downing Street, to be in regular contact with me in my office to pull together the asks of central government, and that means that we've been working with the police and with Sefton Council and their leader, Marion Atkinson, to ensure that we can get the correct support from national government to provide some of that long-term resilience that this community will need. Look, the circus might have gone, but the anxiety still exists in many parts of this area and across the city region, and we need to do everything that we possibly can, working with central government to provide that additional support for the long term.
And if anybody wants to get involved and offer support, how can they do that?
Well, obviously the Sefton Council is the right place for that level of support. If anybody's got any ideas, any ways in which they believe that they could be helpful to the community, then they need to contact the Sefton Council. The Sefton Council have done an absolutely fantastic job of repairing some of the damage, but also working with the community so that there's a long-term idea of pulling all of those strands together, the multicultural aspect of it, the multi-faith aspect of it, but just purely people who live here and about in Southport, to bring them into the family and to ensure that those people are working together for the real legacy of what happened.
Thank you, Steve, and thank you for taking the time out to come and visit Southport.